Here we go. This is it. This is episode 266 of No Laugh Track podcast. We're here at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis. We're on the stage. My name's Justin Severson, the host. Thank you, Circle of Heat, for letting us play your music there at the beginning. The other part of this we, is Ian Bagg sitting across from me on the stage. Yes.
Yeah. 266, is that one a week for 266 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good work, man.
Thank you.
Good work having that kind of gumption.
Yeah, and we've even, if you want the full details, we've actually recorded probably another 10 with technical difficulties where they don't exist.
You've hurt
I got to shut up from the back.
You've hurt feelings.
Okay, 5, 4,
maybe 20,
5.
maybe
Eric
22.
Maybe 5, maybe 22. Maybe we're already at 300. No, but never anyone, no human error, just technology.
Goddamn.
That's not
Bill
true
Gates.
either. So before we dig into it here, Ian, like I told you right before we started recording, I just got a text from my wife.
Uh-huh.
It says, I asked you if I should read it now or later. You said now. Here it is. I took October 23rd off so we can go to TI for our anniversary that Sunday, so keep it open.
Treasure Island or
Yes.
the guy, the band?
TI,
Yeah, you guys going to see TI.
Obviously the hip-hop guy. Look at me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, Treasure Island's a casino here, just south of the Twin Cities, which is our little tradition now for the wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
I like it, bud.
Yeah, thank you. Here we are.
Here he is.
Here we are. The day after we were both here last night. You
We were
performed.
both here last night.
I sat in my seat the whole time and did not get up.
Which seat did you sit in?
Well, we'll get to some of the stories, but I'll just say that there was a woman that was of mixed race that you spoke to during the show.
I spoke to her afterwards.
You did afterwards too?
Afterwards as well, but after all hell broke loose.
Yes.
I talked to her afterwards.
So I was directly in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
At least I must have been her voice. I never turned around to look.
You were terrified to look.
Well, I was like, I'm not doing anything to set anybody off.
That's so funny. It's so funny.
Well, let's start by saying that the show last night, overall, fucking awesome as always.
Thanks,
I was super excited to come. I did not bring my wife with the last time you were here, and I always have to pitch her I don't. She doesn't come with me every time. I really have to all right, is she gonna like this?
Right.
Is she gonna like Ian? But she remembered you briefly from Last Comic Standing, so I had that going for me. And anyway, she had an awesome time. She was
she had a good time? Good.
As hard as me, if not harder.
That's awesome.
So very good. Good
well,
job.
It was interesting. It was an interesting crowd. It was a lot of fun.
It was a Wednesday night?
It was a Wednesday night, and it was... first of all, we started out, we had Lyle LaRue on. Lyle always contacts me and says, Ian, I need a guest set. And I'm like, all right, Lyle, I'm not going to guarantee you anything, but I'm going to see if I can get you something. I'll see if the club's it doesn't have anybody on, and then I'll see if I can get you on.
I'm glad you're starting with Lyle.
So I sent him a message yesterday, and I said, Lyle, see you at the club tonight, 8 o'clock. He said, oh, I see you can get me on the show. I said, yes, I can. He goes, good. And I said, do your best 5, get it together, keep your ego down. So he came down, and I didn't know if I was going to make it over in time to see him, but I made it over in time to see him, and it was joyous to me. He loves doing stand-up. That's A, why I like putting him on.
Okay.
B, I just enjoy watching him. I'm not going to burst his bubble by saying that he's horrible. I'm not going to make him huge-headed by saying he's fantastic, but I enjoy what he does, and he's got a couple things that just make me happy. He loves to say that he's a comic.
Uh-huh.
He loves to say that he's a comic.
Yeah.
And the way he holds himself on stage makes me happy. And he thinks he's suave with the women, so I like that.
Wow,
I do enjoy that he thinks he's always talking about dating. I love it, and
he's a local guy,
Lyle.
Yeah,
you've never seen him before?
Never. Really?
Because I put him on last time I was here too. You must not have been on that night. Yeah. I put him on every time I'm in town.
You do?
Yeah.
I've never seen that guy before.
Yeah, he comes to amateur night here as well. So
I don't come out to lots of that.
You don't come out to lots of that. Yeah, he's. I'm sure the people around in town and some of the people that listen to this know Lyle LaRue. He's pretty awesome.
It was we have a special guest tonight. And I'm like, who could this be? Like, I'm going like, this. I think I'd seen Steve Gillespie out at the bar. I'm like, I wonder if it's Steve. And then Lyle, like,
Lyle
what is
LaRue.
going on
Who's
here?
this guy?
What is this?
That was awesome. Yeah, he's just, he did about 5 minutes of his best material, and yeah, he had a good time.
There were he's a bit of a storyteller.
He's a bit of a storyteller. He's a bit of a yeah. He's awesome. Shout out to Lyle LaRue. He'll probably put this in his Ring of Honor.
Lyle, you got a new fan right here in me.
There you go, Lyle.
Fantastic. Like you said. Wow.
There's no way you can dislike Lyle. If somebody dislikes Lyle, I take them off my market right away.
Oh, I guarantee up until what we're gonna get to here that a lot of people would have left last night, and that would have been what was that?
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I don't even think they remembered by that time. So I'll take you. Tell me your rendition of what happened, and I'll tell you my rendition of what
Perfect. I like that. MC, then Lyle, then Trevor Anderson. Everybody did great. All different kind of acts, really good. Then you come out, do
Tank it.
Then this guy comes out, and it's like, oh, here we go. No, and you're doing awesome. The show's going great, and I don't remember exactly what you were talking about at the time. That's left my memory.
I can tell you what I said. I said there isn't many black people here at this show. I haven't done a room this white since last night.
Yes, and I remember laughing at that. That's right.
Yeah, and then all hell broke loose.
And then you said where are the black people?
Yeah, so where are the black people?
Where are the black people? And then from behind where I was sitting, I hear someone go, right here. And it was like, oh, all right. Well, somebody's speaking up from the back of the room that is okay, sure. They're announcing their presence.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was all it was going to be. Then next thing you know, there's like more commotion, and somebody starts coming towards the stage, and I'm still thinking, what is this? Does he know this person? Is it somebody I know? Like, who is coming towards the stage? And then suddenly it got really like, well, okay, this is not a joke. This lady's.
How far in could you tell that it wasn't a joke?
When she grabbed for the mic.
That's when you knew?
Yeah.
I knew when she jumped on stage. I was just like, what is she fired up about? And she was breathing way too hard. She was breathing like she had been through a fucking marathon. It was insane. I was just like, what is going on? Okay, you tell your rendition. Keep going.
So from what I remember is then she said something like, as she's coming to the stage, trying to grab your microphone, which I've never ever. I've been to probably hundreds of shows here.
Right.
I've never.
And I pulled the mic away from her and said, no.
You said no right away. That's yours, which you have every right to say because it is at that time. That's your mic and nobody else's. And then she said something like, I wanted you to tell your jokes. Is that what she said? I want you to tell your jokes. Stop talking about people or stop making fun of people.
Stop talking to the audience and do what you do and tell your jokes.
I want to hear your jokes.
And tell your jokes. And I said, actually, if you looked at the internet to see what I did before you came, these are my jokes.
Yes.
And then she said,
you're a racist.
Yeah. And I was like, what? Like, it didn't make any sense at all.
No,
I'm like, what? And she goes, you're a racist. And she just kept yelling that I was a racist.
And as a 100% white guy in the audience, when you're anywhere and someone who's not white is yelling, pointing out someone as being a racist, you're like, you can't help but be super uncomfortable.
I'll stop you right there, and then you can finish your story. As soon as somebody calls me racist, I stop. Because I'm white. So I don't know if I'm racist. Or if I've said something racist.
Okay.
Like, I don't think I'm racist. I'm not racist. Because racism to me is when you stop somebody from a different color from doing something. That is racism. Teasing somebody about their background or anything is not racist. But in getting in somebody's way of living their life or putting them down and trying to be above somebody is racist.
Yeah,
I've never been that person.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm racist. But if somebody yells at me that I'm racist, it's not for me to say, no, I'm not.
Okay.
So if you think I'm racist, and you're of that color, I don't know what you've been through. So I didn't say anything. What I said, and then, okay, go ahead.
I'm not sure where to go from there. I mean, it was she.
She didn't last long for after that.
No, she didn't last long.
Because I said, and I'll tell you, I said to her, you got to go. I said, I've not liked things, but I don't make a scene about it and turn it into a protest. I just leave.
Yes.
I said, so you have got to go. So she started breathing hard again. And the reason I said you got to go was I thought she was going to pass out. Like, she was breathing so hard. I thought, this girl is having a, what is it when you have to breathe into the bag?
Hyperventilating. Panic attack?
Panic attack, hyperventilating.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she ran up to play and then she panicked and like it all spun out for her because it didn't make sense. Like there was nothing going on that there should have been anger, right?
Right.
So it didn't understand. So I was still like, okay, I was still concerned about her, but I'm like, just get her out of the room, and then she'll be fine. And I go, okay, you got to go, and she was like, ma 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 ma, and then I said something. Whoever's with that girl,
yes, there's got to be someone else with her party.
I said, there's got to be somebody else with this party. You got to decide whether you're staying or leaving. And this gay guy stood up and said, I'm with her. And I'm leaving, sister.
Oh, he did say sister.
Yeah, he called me sister, and I
forgot about that.
And I said, all right, sister. Well, I said, get on your. I said, take your cape and get the fuck out of here. And at that time, she came running back, but the bouncers had her at that time.
Yes.
So she was just asked to leave.
Yes.
But what I said next was, you guys aren't going to tip because you're pieces of shit.
Yes.
So whoever has that table, whoever's the waitress on that table, let me know because they're going to take it out on you, and it has nothing to do with you.
Correct.
And sure enough, we asked later on if they'd tipped, and they hadn't tipped.
Had not. Correct.
So
paid their bill.
Did
not tip. Took it
so
out.
They took it on somebody that was innocent. So I made sure that I gave the young lady, it was a $30. I won't say what I gave, but I gave, I know there's been other times where she's probably been screwed too, so I gave her a little bit extra.
Nice.
So, but I was just, and that's how it ended. And then we went right back into the show. Just like nothing happened. We went right back in. I made fun of it every so often. I'd make fun of it.
Yeah.
And then
you're like, what? You guys, I'm gonna have to fight a black lady.
I said I'm gonna have to fight a black lady after the show, and you guys better have fun. Well, before I do that, so I don't know. We had fun for about. I think the show turned out to be an hour 20 or something.
I was gonna say there. My internal clock. I didn't look at my watch or anything or my phone, but I could tell we've been here. He's going a long time.
This guy's got to shut up. Is what you thought, but. Then there was these girls sitting over here.
Yes.
And
a whole different party.
One was real drunk.
Yes.
One was like sloppy drunk. And the other two were really they were fun. I actually enjoyed playing with the other two, but the other one was sloppy drunk. Meow meow meow. Meow. She said, "Well, if you're going to pay her bill, I hate you too. Pay my bill." Remember that?
Yes.
I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." You know what I mean?
Buy me a drink.
Yeah, buy me a drink. I'm like, "No, you're gross." So we continue, and I'm trying to wrap it up. We're like last 3, maybe 5 minutes. I'm trying to wrap it up. And then all of a sudden, they will not stop talking to each other. We're in the home stretch, and they just won't stop talking to each other. So I said,
apparently they decided it was over.
They decided it was over, and we're having a conversation. And I said, ladies, can you just shut the fuck up?
Yeah. We've already been through some craziness.
Yeah, we've had a great night, and I'm just trying to wrap it up, just tying it into a bow, and I don't know if they didn't want it to end or what it was, but the bouncer came over. The bouncer, and it's not a bouncer, it's a doorman, and it's a seater, it's a greeter, it's
usher.
Usher. They're not bouncers, is what they are. They're big guys, but they're nothing ever like that happens, and it does, but it shouldn't at a comedy show because it's like having a bouncer at a bakery.
Yeah.
It's nothing but joy. Going to a comedy club is nothing but joy. Doesn't matter how bad the comedian is, how great the comedian is. There's booze, there's chicken fingers, and there's somebody dancing for you.
Yeah.
There is nothing bad about that situation, right? So he comes over and he goes, ladies, can you quit talking to each other? And one loses their shit.
Yeah, of course.
They've told us not to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. They're assholes, meh, meh, meh. And I'm just like, they actually asked you to stop talking amongst each other.
Correct.
It's okay for you to talk to me. And she said, that is not what they said, and started yelling at me and stood up and walked out. And I was like, well, we lose a black girl, we lose a white girl. You know what I mean? That's not racism right there. Everybody's equal, right? So,
then attention goes to the Asians in the front.
And there's 2 Asians in front. I'm like, right, Asians? And everybody's like, oh, my God. You going to leave anybody out of this? And I'm not. The reason I talk to everybody is because I'm not frightened of somebody because they're different than me.
Yeah, good.
I don't think I'm above somebody because they're different than me. I
Right.
don't think they're better than me. We're all on the same playing field, and we're going to chirp each other, and we're going to make fun. You're going to make fun of me. I'm going to make fun of you.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to have fun. You came to my house. When I go into a comedy club, I pretend this is my basement. You've come over to my place. We are going to have a great time, and just respect my house. That's all. You wouldn't go over to somebody's house that's having a party and start yelling about their decorations or what they have to serve the food or the booze isn't coming out quick enough.
Right.
You'd be polite in somebody's house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a privilege to come to a comedy club, and people think it's their right to come to a comedy club, and it's not. It's a privilege, and we love that you come. But just respect it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just respect the people around you and the situation and have a great time. And I don't mind the silly stuff that people say to me. I love it. I love it when they say, like the one girl wished HPV on me. Remember that?
Yes.
And I fucking thought that was hysterical. That was the biggest, like that was such a great hate line. Everybody, people wish so many things. Nobody's ever. I hope you get a wart on your dick. You know, what I mean, and she said it such a polite way. I didn't even know if she'd wished me that I could go in the carpool lane. Like that's the HPV lane. You know, so it was so fun. It was so fun. But I just like. They don't understand when they come to a comedy club. I was just laughing. No, you're having a conversation with your friend, and it went on a little too long, and it's taking away from the show. Because I will say, as a comedian, I have this, and I'm sure a lot of comedians, maybe they don't, but I have it for sure, and you can tell by my show. I'm a little ADD, so it bounces everywhere.
Oh,
and
sure.
if you do something that makes me notice, I'm ADD. I'm going to notice,
Yeah.
and
Now it's on your radar.
Now I can't get it back. Like I had a lady not too long ago that was mad at me because I brought up her phone. I bring up people using their phone. I never have ever kicked anybody out of my show for using their phone.
Oh.
The reason I talk to them is because now I have an end to talking to you. I've seen your phone.
Yeah.
We're now in conversation. I've taken you away from your phone. So basically, I've stopped you from using your phone by having the conversation.
Yeah.
Everything is set. But this one lady who just could not believe that I was the biggest asshole that had stopped her from using her cell phone. And I said, and I was like, actually, if there was an announcement before the show not to use your phone, there's things all over the world, don't use your phone. And I'm not the big dick. I'm actually trying to have fun with you.
Yeah.
And you're in the wrong, it's understandable. There's people without sense of humor in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to let them never come to a comedy club. You know what I mean? But it's just, I don't know. It's such a fun place. It's an adult theme park, I think, in a comedy club. And it's just relaxing, and these are the most comfortable chairs in any comedy club in the world. Like anybody that says, "Oh, it was uncomfortable in there," the seating's, it's great. I love it.
That's right. Sit there and enjoy it. Damn it.
Yeah, just have fun. And if you don't, that's fine too. Life is about choices. And if you don't like something, but I hate the Kardashians. I don't run around telling people they shouldn't watch it. That's basically what you're doing when you make a scene at a comedy club.
There's one thing just to walk out and maybe even go on social media and bitch to everybody that you know. This guy sucks and I had a terrible time.
Yeah.
But then that happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've never seen anybody put a foot on the stage and try to grab the mic.
I have heard all sorts of stories of comics having to deal with people. It's really, I've heard of comics jumping into the crowd and punching people. I've heard people being punched on stage. I've heard guys been chased out. I've seen video of a guy hit somebody with a guitar. I've seen, there's all sorts of weird things that have happened in a comic club. And it's never, the thing is, you have to always remember there's alcohol added to this situation, and not everybody deals well with alcohol.
True.
So you're not getting people on a normal plane. And I think that's why you don't see complaints a lot the next day on social media, because people are embarrassed that they were drunk.
The day after, fuck, what did I?
Yeah,
and did I?
And I've had situations where people have been, and people go, every time we go out with her, she gets us into trouble. And I'm like, you got to choose your friends wisely. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that. You at some point you got to take responsibility and not put yourself in that situation.
What were people? I'm curious. What did Because I stopped and chatted with you just for a second before we left, and I know there were a lot more people. What were people saying to you on the way out?
Oh, they just tell me how much fun they had.
Yeah.
They really didn't focus on that situation because I think I took away from it so quickly.
Yeah.
I think people that are in a comedy club a lot probably would focus in on it more than people that come to a show and thought, well, that was different, wasn't it? But look at all the other things he did. He didn't even you didn't even, they were like, it didn't even faze you. And I'm like, well, why should it? Like, there's other stuff. I had in Hermosa Beach, I walked on stage. Within a minute, I noticed a girl on the front stage. I watched her one eye flip up, and I watched her other eye flip up, and I knew she was about to have a seizure. And she had a seizure. She was having a seizure, and I said to her boyfriend, I said, hold on to her. I said, get her comfortable, make sure her head doesn't hit on anything, and like get her comfortable. And people are like, what's going on? And I said, is there a doctor, a nurse?
Whoa.
Yeah, and she wrote out the seizure. They woke her up. A guy came up. There was a nurse. He helped out, and they took her in the back, and we just continued the show. Like there's things that happen if you don't. It's part of the job is to learn how to. We're letting people escape, and you got to let them escape.
Yeah,
you can't shut it down. So
wow.
I remember I had one lady pass out. One lady passed out in a show, fell off a high table, stools, hit her head, boom. And I heard a thud, and I'm like, oh no, she's down. So I said, I need bouncers, and we got to call an ambulance. And you make fun of things, fun of things, and some guy got pissed off. And I said, what did you want me to do? Just break down and start crying? It's like what would have been better? Like I know how to deal with things, but I don't have you know what I need to do? I need to actually take a St. John's ambulance course or whatever the
EMT course.
Not an EMT course, but I should know what to do and say what are they called? Emergency response
responder. Yeah,
I should take some sort of course because I'm around enough people in groups that things happen, and I should know how to resuscitate somebody.
Yeah.
I should know what side to flip them onto. I should know what I'm actually gonna look into that because now that we're talking this, I'm like, hey, I should probably learn. So yeah,
think of the headlines that would make. Ian Bagg lifesaver.
That would be awesome.
Hero.
Oh, hero.
Hero.
I think it was last night.
But I will say, it almost seemed like, you're pretty, how do I say it? You're pretty loose on stage, like very relaxed because of all the crowd work, of all the talking to the audience. But I've noticed a change after that happened. It was even, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I was imagining
Somebody
that.
keep yelling hello. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think somebody's at the door.
Is there an owl somewhere? I don't know.
Hello? I think somebody's out there saying hello. I probably wouldn't be surprised.
It's probably Cy.
Right? It'd be hilarious if it was actually her. She came down to complain. Yes, we are. Come on out.
Oh my goodness. There really is somebody yelling.
Right here. Come out. Come on out right here.
What is going on? Is there something in the air here? What is going on? If she walks in and sits at the seat where all those people were last night, I'm going to die.
Is it a full moon? Like, seriously.
Well, I know.
I could hear it. I'm like, hello, hello. She buying tickets? She better be buying tickets.
Oh
What's she here for? She making a delivery? She here for open mic? Is it Lyle's mom? Oh, great.
You know what? Maybe she wasn't talking to anyone here. She was trying to answer her phone.
Hello, hello,
hello, hello, hello.
Oh, that's fucking
Hello.
hysterical. Are you guys even open? What's going on in this place?
My buddy, when we were kids, before cell phones were around, you'd have to call your friend on the house phone.
Right.
My buddy stayed at his grandma's house a lot.
Oh, I used to live with my grandpa, too, in Australia.
And you'd call, and it would be, hello, and all you would hear is "oh" of the hello by the time the phone
That's
actually got to
funny.
her face. I think she was saying hello.
My old aunt used to live with us, and I remember phoning home one day. Hey, Aunt Claire, is Sharon there? Nope. Click, just hangs up. I'm like, what was the conversation? Hey, Aunt Claire, it's Ian. Ian's not here. I'm like, no, it's Ian. Ian's not here. No, it's Ian. 8 minutes of that, and I'm just like, oh, God. Yeah, I don't know how anything got done before cell phones.
No, I know. I agree.
Like
Go ahead.
If a major city ever loses power like it is, well, I guess Puerto Rico right now, like I don't wonder how anybody's going to find anybody with there's no power on. There can't be any cell service. If the power's out, there's no cell service, I'm guessing, right?
Right.
So,
well, I just heard on the drive over here, I heard some news story about a camper that was lost, and he was in the middle of nowhere and had like just barely. They found him, had barely enough food to get by. Knew that there was some people searching for him, so he rationed his food, but he had his phone with him, and with a charge, but the no service, so lost. Crazy. But you think like I get out of anything with my phone here?
Yeah.
Just punch in the coordinates, call somebody. It's crazy. I wanted to say. I
think she's still wandering around.
I think I can hear that as well. I listened back to you've been on this podcast one other time. We did it in June of 2015, and I listened back to that, and it's interesting. I listened to it today, as a matter of fact, and on that recording, you talk about having a different crazy show here. Back in 2011, U.S. Bank Christmas party.
Yeah. But Christmas parties are different. Christmas parties are always insane. Wednesday nights usually aren't insane,
right?
And nobody called me a racist on that night. So they're just arrogant pricks that night. It's pretty funny. What were you going to say though? You said afterwards. Could you tell? Was the crowd pretty loose?
I think yes. I felt the vibe was like we were so with you at that point. Like after all that happened. I felt like everybody was so with you and so relaxed, and you were seemed more relaxed.
I think if I hadn't dealt with it the way I did, I could have lost the crowd, but we didn't lose the crowd at all.
Even more.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like you were having so much fun, and like I said,
I had a great. I love being on stage.
Yeah.
It's safe. I know people jump on it, but it's safe. It's fun. It's great. It's just stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what kind of people don't like my show? Dumb people. Because they get lost. Because it moves fast. You have to keep up. And if you're not socially aware of yourself, you can get really scared.
Yeah.
And I could tell she was lost. Like she didn't know what to say, so she called me a racist.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like we didn't have my wife and I didn't have a chance to talk about it while we're in here. So as soon as we get outside the club, it was like we talked about pretty much on the way home. Well, there's a lot of silence. We've been married a few years.
A lot of just looking at each other. You, huh?
Leave the radio off. We can't agree on anything. No. Just leave it off. But we're trying to make sense of what had happened, and I'm thinking, did she just misunderstood everything Ian was doing? Because I felt like she was going to be, okay, now he mentioned black people, and now I'm going to have to stick up for everybody here that he was picking on. Because he was picking on these people.
But I wasn't picking on anybody.
But that's how she took it, probably.
It's not it came out, and it started with a girl putting on lip gloss.
Yes.
That's how my show started out, and I mentioned that I've never had anybody have to shine up their lips before I've started a show, so I knew it was going to be a good one.
Yeah.
That's not picking. I don't. What it is my show is something happens, and I take that little nugget and I explode it.
Yeah.
It's not about me saying you're an asshole, you're a loser, you're different than me, you're gross. It's a little idea exploded into something completely different. So yeah,
you know what you do is you kind of turn audience members into characters.
Yes, they're characters in my show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, like when I'm leaving, I can talk about them. Like there's Lip Balm Girl.
Right.
There's Nephew.
Right.
There's Uncle. There's Uncle that aged.
If anybody should have been angry, it's the uncle that I thought he was the father. He was 2 years older than the one guy.
His brother.
Yeah, and he looked horrible. But he was so comfortable in himself, Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. I think it's great. Like I'm sitting around characters part of the show. There's 3 in front of me, 1 behind me, 3 over here.
A guy sent me a message on Instagram last night and apologized for the crowd.
Oh.
And I said, actually, no. I said, did he apologize for the crowd? He apologized, and I said, please don't apologize. I had a fantastic time, so I hope you did too. And he said back, I had a great time, but I'm just making sure you had a great time. So I was like, no.
That's cool.
It's there was nothing to apologize about last night. Yeah. One bad apple does not make me cut down the tree.
Yeah. I've been listening to your podcast.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a great. I'll probably talk about this next week too. It's called National Bagg Radio, and it's just a guy out of St. Louis.
was going to say, I think that's not what I listen to.
Yeah, that's not the one out of St. Louis. Said to me one day, he said, you should do a podcast. And I explained to him why I'm not doing one. And he said,
because you used to.
I used to do them, but with a bunch of friends. And it was hard to coordinate. If there's no financial gain for somebody, and there was for nobody, it was hard to keep them all together.
Yeah.
And we had a great run. I think we did like 50 of them, 60 of them, which is quite a bit once a week. So that just ran its course, and I had a great time with it. But I said, if I do another one, I just want it to be conversation. You know, I don't want it to be bing, bong, bang, bing, bong, bing, which was the other one, which I had a great time. But I can do that. So I wanted to strengthen myself by having to tell stories, talk about things. And so it's just my buddy Chris Denman, and I call him up. He does all the technical work, and it's just me calling him up and saying what's going on the last week. So
I honestly, listening to it, it's kind of like what I'm doing here.
A lot like what you're doing here, yeah.
But instead of having
I don't have
a rotation,
no interviews.
Yeah,
that's different. That's our thing. We'll tape somebody and they'll say they won't be on the National Bagg Radio this week. That's how the intros are now.
Yeah.
So
not a guest.
Yeah, not a guest. Will not be a guest this week.
I mean that I'm trying to make I like. The happiest version of this is when it's as conversational as possible.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, I don't think what I'm doing here is a lot different than what you're doing, except that it's a rotation of, except it's a new person every week.
New person, and with him, I'm talking to a friend. So it's trying to get me to describe things to my friend rather than, for me, I would always be in your chair, right?
Sure.
So I didn't want to be that guy.
Okay.
I wanted to be this guy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have to create the story on my own.
Yeah.
So that's...
You know what? I a better comparison is a show I do, a No Laugh Track podcast, when it's someone that's been on 4 or 5 times.
Right, yes.
And then we've got
just talking with a buddy.
Yes.
Yeah. And you got to make it entertaining for them, and you just can't do the same thing. Yep. You can't get
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Exactly. So I really enjoyed it. I love that format.
Oh, thanks,
and he's a radio guy?
He's a radio guy. He's got an AM show in St. Louis on a sports channel. He's a good guy, yeah. National Bagg Radio drops every Tuesday on iTunes.
And see, I'm giving you a chance to promote it, because I also noticed him giving you shit about not promoting it enough.
I'm bad at promoting things.
Yeah.
Like, you probably noticed that I didn't mention it last night
You
at all.
didn't.
And I was like, son of a bitch, I can't believe I got to let the MC know to mention it. So, So I'm horrible at saying about it. He gets on me, but I'm just like, hey, I'm just about the work. I'm not about the advertising.
Yeah. So are you doing any prep to? And I noticed, are you doing them all on the phone? The ones I heard.
Yeah, we're doing all on the phone. Yeah, I just call him in. We're like, we just pick a time.
And that's the beauty of it. You can be anywhere.
I can be anywhere. It's just, it actually just works out perfect. So we'll keep going.
Yeah, that's good. So you're not showing up with any prep?
No,
just whatever happened in your life.
I just write down a couple things.
Yeah,
that was all we talked. He talked mostly this week about, I don't know if you've listened to this one, but all the things that are going down in St. Louis. He was talking about that, and then we talked a little bit about me being in Tampa.
Yes, I did listen to that one.
So it was fun.
I did listen to that one. Yeah, it sounds like minus this week, you've been traveling around hurricanes.
I was in Houston the week before they had their hurricane.
I heard that.
And then the week after in Tampa, I was just like, so I close a club and I open a club. Okay.
What the hell?
So it was pretty cool.
Were things back to...
I don't know if it's cool, but yeah.
Yeah, great weather here today and
Amazing.
yesterday, so I don't think we have anything to worry about.
The world's fucked up, man. It's crazy. It's a mess out there. And people are like, no, there's no global warming. I'm like, I don't think cities are supposed to fall down. You know,
right?
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm terrified. I just like, I don't know if every generation has this or but it feels like we're coming to the end of Rome. You know,
right? Remember how excited everybody was just like a month ago just to see the stupid eclipse, and that was like the natural thing we were all focused on. And that was happy. Like, don't look directly at it. By the way, I never heard anybody going blind.
Nobody went blind.
No one went blind.
The president looked exactly like, I can't believe I called him a president. Trumpy looked exactly straightforward at it. And I'm like, oh, God.
I thought, when I saw that on Twitter, I thought it was a goof. And then found out he really did.
You're like, what the? Everything that guy does, you're like, did he really do that? And you're like, he did. And you're like, wow. Yeah,
because all I saw was someone else's tweet referencing it. Like, well, he didn't really.
And then you see the news,
and then you see the picture.
Oh,
he fucking did.
All right, then good for you. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Did you notice any? How were things in Tampa last week?
The big thing that I noticed that all the billboards were shredded.
Okay.
Because I guess what they do is they cut them so the wind will go through them and then that shreds them.
Oh.
So otherwise, if they leave them up, it'll knock the sign down. I've seen a couple bent signs. Seen the staging area for all the trucks that like are going out and putting the power back on.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was pretty interesting. It was in a dog track. All the trucks were in a dog track. It was pretty crazy. So that's a lot of trucks. But for the most part, no. People were coming in. Hey, we just got our power. But I was surprised the numbers we were doing. We were doing like 150 for Thursday, 250 for Friday early show, 125 for late show, 250, and then
Nice.
140. And I'm like, well, that's pretty good for a couple days after a hurricane, you know? 'Cause
Right.
I was expecting, because I said to my agency, I said, I'm not taking responsibility for these numbers this week. Like, there's no way that nobody's going to fight to come in and see
Right.
me.
You're setting me up.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to blame me because I remember I did a show, and this shows how long I've been doing comedy. 9
When the space shuttle exploded in
Yeah, right.
86.
worse. 9/12/2001.
Ooh, yeah.
No, 9/13. So it's 2 days after 9/11. I went to Sacramento Punchline and filled in for a guy that couldn't get in there because no flights were flying. Remember, I think it was about 4 or 5 days before you could fly. So he's like, they said, Ian, will you go up there? And I said, yes. And they never had me back for about a decade because I had the worst numbers ever in record of the club.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you guys look at the date at all? Like, that's a screw over right there that you're holding terrorism against me, you know?
The country was mourning. Just a bit.
People were terrified.
Yeah.
People were not leaving their house. Anything that flew in the air, they thought was coming at them.
Yeah, right. Right.
So, comedy clubs, especially if they're not, like, when there's not ownership in the town, like a club that doesn't have an owner, like, I don't know how to explain it. So, some of these
like a chain versus
some
local?
of these chains where there's somebody's running the club, but they don't get money, like they're not an owner, right?
Oh.
So
Okay.
I call it a ship with no captain, because they really don't. They're all over the place and they don't really pay attention to things, and that should probably be circled 9/11 2001. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Yeah, everybody gets a
But
break.
and I love that club. I go there now, and they finally let me
that's
back, and they
good.
go, "Oh, yeah, well, yeah," and I'm like, asses.
Are you the podcast radio stuff? You did some. It was on XM, wasn't it?
I did. Yeah, we put it on XM for a while. Yeah.
You still have XM?
No. I kind of just don't. What happened was I was doing with Toad Hop Network, which is a guy named Frank. It's Heidi Frosty and Frank out of LA. They own this thing, and I was doing it with them, and then they moved into the John Lovitz Club, and we were doing it out of there. And I went to South Africa for 6 weeks worth of shows. And as the night I was getting on a plane, the people at John Lovitz and Toad Hop had an argument and pulled everything out. So, and I was supposed to have shows for the next couple weeks for XM. So now I'm like, don't know what I'm doing. So they made me make a choice of where I was going to do my show. And I'm like, I'm getting on a plane in 2 minutes to go to South Africa, and you guys are doing this to me. So I pulled out of both places, and they both hate me.
Oh no!
The Lovitz Club went broke. Toad Hop closed, and I pulled off of XM because I'm just like, I can't give you a product that's going to be worth going on your thing. So that's the other reason we shut down our show, and then I just never started it up again. I was just like, and then now we've got the new one, and I quite enjoy it.
Yeah. Do you do when you go to St. Louis? Do you do a live one with this?
I haven't done a live one. He's pushing me to do a live one.
I bet. Yeah, you should.
I think we might next time. So.
Yeah, you definitely
Dan Min, might get your wish. He wants to do a live one in LA as well. I'm just like, LA's a tough market to do it in because there's so many famous people you're competing against.
Sure. Yeah,
it's funny when you go into LA. You know you're doing well when you can get a crowd in LA.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because Los Angeles has so much competition.
The competition.
Yeah. So it just takes the rest of the country to click onto that after a while.
You know, you have some competition tonight.
What's my competition?
Not really, but it's where I'm going as soon as we're done
Where you
here. to work my job over at the Minnesota Wild.
I was gonna go to that. What time's the game?
7. First preseason game.
Here's a question for you. Could I go to it and make it? Is it worth me going?
Oh, what time do you? 8:30. You need to be back.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see the first period. You've been there before, right?
I have been there before, but my buddy's goalie coach for Winnipeg.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So you could get in free.
Yeah, he's like, hey, let me know if you want tickets, because I called him up and said, hey, I see you guys are in town tomorrow. You here tonight? And he's like, no, we're in Edmonton. So they flew in from Edmonton today.
Today. Oh,
yeah, or last night or whatever.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know. I've been kind of. I'm like,
get a little taste of hockey in
I know,
September.
I don't know. Let's see if he even sent me a message.
So that's where I'm going tonight. Go sell some
Do you
beers.
work there?
Yeah, cold beer here, up and down the stairs.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I've been doing that a long time. Long
Is that a
time.
good gig?
It is it's one of the best part-time jobs you can get. I'll do it until I physically can't, probably.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I really like it.
My last message to him was, well, check the times for the game and get back to you. So I'm still up in the air. So I don't think I'm going to make it, though.
And your team is the Canucks.
So my team is the team that is in China right now.
Yes, that's what I was just going to bring up.
They lost
I just
5-2
found that out
last night to the Kings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why hockey's going to China.
China,
Do you?
Well, China a couple years ago made a big push to get an Olympic team going. So
did they have one?
I don't know if
I don't remember.
I don't know if they had one that was good enough to get into the Olympics last time, but they are trying to start the hockey program over there, and they're smart if they push that Asian rim. What do they call that? Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
That it's not that far from Vancouver, so why not try to make Vancouver the most popular team? And they brought Los Angeles over there, which is smart. And Vancouver also did this interesting thing where they signed a Chinese goaltender to an amateur contract.
I saw that.
So yeah, they're over. I think they're playing 3 games. Is it 3?
I saw 2.
2? Okay.
Do they?
So they played one. I think they're doing one in Shanghai and one in Beijing.
And did that Chinese goalie play last night? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't read much about it. The only thing that I seen was one of the players had wore a Chinese outfit to the game.
Like a kimono or something?
No, it's like
what do you mean?
Like a red tuxedo kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like laughing because even though they lost 5-2, he was still styling. So funny. But I don't think the Canucks are going to be. I read something that the Canucks won't be, and this was last year, wouldn't be relevant for 5 years. So
they were one of the worst teams last 2 years, right? 28th and 29th in the league. I think
I can just watching what they've done with their head office and stuff and their ownership. They've turned themselves into the new Toronto. There's no real.
Oh yeah.
There's no real smarts there going on. So
one of the things that I got to bring up about the last time you were here that I listened to earlier today, you predicted the firing of Mike Yeo.
I did?
Yes.
Oh, I knew. Yeah. I don't. He ended
the
up
Wild
in
had just
St.
had that really amazing run at the end of the 2015 season, and then shit the bed in the playoffs. And we were here in June. The playoffs were still. Or actually, the Stanley Cup had just ended, so everybody's done. And you said, "I don't think Mike Yeo will survive this," and he got fired the freaking next year. Nice job.
Smart. I'm pretty smart.
Nice job. That was impressive.
Who did they bring in for him?
That was the
like
Torchetti guy for half a season.
And then they brought what's his
Bruce
face?
Boudreau.
Barbecue Bruce, my buddy calls him. 'Cause he looks like he's always got barbecue sauce all over his shirt. So
he does.
Apparently he's really, really nice. Did they go after? Did the Wild go after? What's his face that was in Washington for the last couple of years? That was in St. Louis before. That's a local kid. Why am I blanking on
TJ Oshie?
Yeah. Did they get him?
Oh.
No.
Mm-mm.
I read someplace that they predicted he'd end up here.
No, Matt Cullen came back.
Oh. Is that the piece that was needed?
No, but he'll be fine.
He's
in his 40s.
What's the piece that is needed?
A star center.
Is Oshie a center?
Yeah, I think he could play center if he's not. Yeah,
that would have been
great.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I don't. such a tough conference to be in.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chicago, you got Winnipeg's in it, right?
Yeah.
And Winnipeg is like you guys. They're 2 pieces away from being something.
And their fans, they will. I think
it's cheaper for them to come here.
Yes, exactly what I was going to say. We have so many Winnipeg fans when they play in St. Paul. It's amazing, and that's what they say. Like they'll buy a beer, tip huge, just like. The money's
fun.
No object.
Yeah.
Like, this is cheaper to come here than to get our tickets for our homes.
Because they can't get tickets. It's sold out.
Yeah.
It's like they'll never, if they don't come down here, they won't get to go to a game.
Yeah, that's wild.
Vegas is going to be huge for all these teams.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think it's great. I think it's. I actually don't mind those unis too. They're okay. They got a couple of flaws to them that I don't like, but
they're not the worst.
They're not the worst.
Yeah.
I don't like the gold in them. I guess what happened was somebody got the idea of calling them the Vegas Knights.
Knights, yeah.
And they
nice little play on words.
But they weren't able to get that. So they had to put the gold in.
Oh, okay.
So, and I think the golden part, I think a 3 lost once, I guess, is 4. 4 is, like, I like a team that doesn't have a plural on. I like the Wild.
Yeah.
I think the Winnipeg Jet would be better than Jets.
Think so?
So yeah, just one jet, just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a team in Russia that was called the Locomotive. I thought that was such a great
that's pretty
name.
tough.
That was that team that crashed, that plane crash.
Pavel Dimitra.
Yeah, all those guys. Yeah, that was terrible, but that was such a great name for a team, the Locomotive.
Have you played in any more, you mentioned last time, any more celebrity games?
I have not played any more celebrity games. I broke my ankle last summer mountain biking like I was 14 years old.
He fell off my bike.
I fell off my bike and tumbled down a mountain. But I did skate a couple times this summer at the Kings facility, and one of my buddies is their equipment manager's there and a strength coach, and I know a bunch of guys, and I'm like, yeah, come on out and skate. Nobody uses the ice, so I'll go out and skate. And I thought it was going to be Jack Campbell, their backup goalie, who I kind of know, was just going to be there. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. And he'd be doing stuff, and then I'd have the other end of the ice, maybe to take a couple shots on him. And I'm like, son of a bitch, there's more players here. Next thing I know, I'm in drills. I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm doing drills. I'm like doing drills with them. So it was pretty cool. So I skated with them a little bit, and it was fun.
Wow.
Yeah. So 46 years old, still skating with them. They're missing their teeth. They're teasing me. I said I couldn't live another 40 years with myself for another 40 years if I didn't do the drills with you. And he goes, you think you're going to live that long? I'm like, nice, getting chirped.
Yeah. I'm one of the guys, one of the boys.
I mean, hey, let's go shower together. Weird.
Were you conscious to not step on the logo? Do they have a logo on the floor in the locker room?
I'm one of those idiots that was just like, oh, and somebody had said something, and I was like, oh, otherwise I would have walked all over it. But I got a couple pictures on Instagram of me sitting in the dressing room, and
oh, really?
Yeah, it's cool. I show up with like my old bag, and stuff, and I left with a new bag and new shin pads and I got like I'm totally decked out. So
nice.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I remember a friend of mine became friends with Jordan Leopold, who was a hockey player for I don't know, a dozen years or something in the NHL. He's from Minnesota. His first team, I think, was the Calgary Flames. Yeah. And my buddy from Jordan got a couple of the T-shirts they have in the training room. Yeah. I thought this is the greatest. You can't buy these in stores.
That's funny because our house is just packed.
With that stuff?
Yeah, because my buddies are like the equipment trainers, right?
Oh, yeah, so you get one of everything.
These shoes, I fucking walked in flip-flops and walked out with these shoes. So,
for people, you're wearing some nice Nikes right there.
And what colors are they? Black and white.
King's colors, yeah.
And I walked out with Lululemon socks.
What?
Yeah, I walked out with I got tons of stuff. I got tons of Winnipeg stuff too. I got they just give me, and I walk into the dressing room. I became friend. I love the game so much. I become friends with a bunch of different. I like some people. I could never like that team. I'm like, what are you kidding? The game's the game.
Yeah.
I'm in my 40s. I'm not gonna bleed blue or whatever, whatever. I love the game.
Mm-hmm.
So become friends with the San Jose coaches and stuff, and just kind of they came out to a show, and you just end up. I end up with all different sorts of logos wandering around me. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You don't need to be loyal at this point.
no, you know what I'm loyal to? Free stuff.
You said damn right.
Free stuff.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
You're speaking my language now. There's no doubt about that. How long have we been doing this? Oh, let's do a few more things here. We covered the when I got here today. I was chatting with Brandon, who works here during the day, and he's like, "Did you know that Ian was in these movies with the chimpanzee?" I go, "Yeah, we talked about that last time." He's like, "Yeah, I watched the trailers. They're wild." Any more acting in the last couple of years?
I think I've done a couple things. Nothing that's really stood out, but I did some game shows, did some different bits and pieces here all over the place. So, yeah, I'm out right now selling shows, so in meetings and stuff all the time. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You're living in L.A.?
Yeah, I'm in Long Beach.
Beach.
I've been in Long Beach for about 10 years. I was in New York I've been in L.A. since 2001, Long Beach since 2010. I was in New York from 95 to 2001.
All right. So Long Beach is the right place to be right now?
Long Beach, I love it. We live on the beach. We live on the water. It's pretty crazy. I really do. You know how we were just talking about getting the hockey stuff for free? Like, that blows my mind. Like, I can go into an NHL facility. Like, as a kid, you're just like, what? No, I wish I was 15 years old.
How would I ever get to meet anyone that would help me do that?
Right?
Right.
Just walk in, and they come out to the shows, and you're like, well, you just sitting around, and I don't know. But then I go home, and my front yard is the beach. Like, honest to God, we live in a duplex. We're on the top level, and the front yard is the beach. And this year we had 9 great whites floating around in front of our house.
What?
We had a gray whale right in front of the house on the same day as the eclipse.
Oh, wow.
Everybody was watching the eclipse. I'm like, hey, there's that gray whale. And he's coming up the channel. And everybody like, oh, man, that's a gray whale again. What do we look at, the eclipse or the gray whale? So, but it was
look up, look down.
Look up, look down. Don't confuse yourself and look at the sun and blind yourself and look at the. But it's pretty. It's for a kid from the middle of nowhere in Canada.
Yeah.
Sometimes my life just does not make sense, and I'm not even famous. I'm not even like anywhere near where I need to be, and I'm living the life, so it's I can't imagine if I actually had success. I'd probably be a heroin addict. I don't know how you become a heroin addict, like when things are going well. Like you hear about.
I have no idea.
Nick Nolte got addicted to heroin at like 68 or something like that, and you're like, how does that happen?
He had a really weird bucket list.
Yeah. Really weird. He must have thought he was going to die 10 years ago or something. How do you get addicted? So,
hey, one of the things I heard you say listening to your show, you were talking about comedians like demands and like the amount of nights you work or the place you stay, and you mentioned something about Eddie Griffin asking for shoes. Is that a real thing?
That's a real thing.
Really?
Yeah. He used to get them every show. He would get a new pair of Michael Jordans to rock the stage in. Now he gets one a weekend. Is that how? I feel like that's how it was actually written into the contract. Yeah,
rocking the stage.
I heard somebody that like read the contract last night, and he used to get like a couple packs of cigarettes and some bottle of champagne to every show. But now it's gone down to the booze. They usually, they'll give you booze in a comedy club pretty easy. Like they know what guys. They keep it away from some guys, but they should probably keep it away from him. But he gets a bottle of I don't know what champagne it is, but he gets a bottle of it every show or something like that. But yeah, guys, because I didn't know I was coming here on Tuesday. I thought
that's what I was going to bring that up.
I was like, I talked about this on the radio.
Yes.
I was like, really? Well, that surprises. I'm like, since when? Who's open on a Tuesday now?
But you've done Tuesdays here in the past, I'm sure, right?
I don't think I have.
You don't think you have? Huh.
Even my wife was like, why are you going there on a Tuesday? What's going on? And she's like, you got something going on out there? I'm like, no. So, yeah. It's funny because I just noticed a contract for January, and I'm like, well, well, this one has a Tuesday in it too, and I haven't been to that club before. It's the one in Austin, owned by Rich Miller, who's connected to this place.
Yes.
So I'm like, these motherfuckers got Tuesday.
That's right. Lewis told him it was okay to book you on Tuesday.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's I don't know any club that has other than this one and that one.
See, but on the flip side of that, I think I couldn't imagine going to a show on a Sunday night. And what would you prefer, working a Sunday or a Tuesday?
I don't like the Sunday night shows.
I'd rather
work a Wednesday than a Tuesday. Usually it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I'd rather do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I like being home on Sunday.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm not going to probably go to the comedy club on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I do want to be home, just like you do.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's stand up. I think did I say something about the date yesterday and it happened to be the right date and I was actually kidding? That might have been the night before. It might have been on Tuesday. It might have been on Tuesday because I told the crowd, I said, I didn't even know I was supposed to be here. Oh. We had a good time. I said the date and they're like, that's the right date. And I'm like, oh, really? No, that's cool. Because I just kind of lose track of dates.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, it's September this week. I put all my bills on automatic payments, so I don't ever have to worry about them. So that's that kind of thing.
This week, specifically Tuesday. What?
Yeah.
What? One final thing I think I want to ask you is
Scorpion.
Because of all the crowd work, how do I ask it? How similar is one show to the next?
The last two, nowhere near.
Well, taking away Wednesday night here.
It all depends on the crowd where we go, but it's always fun. Like even last night was fun. I would say
it was a
both
lot
shows.
of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It doesn't. I don't think going sideways is wrong. It's when you're trying to deliver the trucks, the bread, and the truck gets stuck on the ice, but you skid out a little bit. Does the bread get delivered? Yep. That's what counts.
There you go.
So I just got to listen to my own music and sing along as we're delivering the bread. But I've had people come to all shows.
I was wondering about that.
I do have people. I have several people that come back 2 nights in a row. I have some people that do that just to check out to see, because a lot of people that have never seen it before are convinced that I have plans in the audience.
I bet.
They think that I just set up the same over and over on the same people. I'm like, I can't afford that. I can't afford to try, because it's not one person that I talk to.
No, oh no.
It's a cast of characters. It's my what does Howard Stern have? His Whack Packers.
Whack Packers. Yeah,
that's basically what I build. So
you got Elephant Boy over there, and
yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Hank the Angry Dwarf over here.
Mm-hmm. Cindy the Angry Black Lady.
Less famous.
I need to know if I think if I was black, I'd rather be called black than African American, because if African American seems excluded.
Yeah,
it's like you're American, but you're African American.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you're black doesn't tell you where you're from.
Well, I mean that everybody pushing the political correctness of African American, I feel like that, as politically correct as everybody is now, I feel like that has died down. And black's okay now.
Do you remember how my show starts?
Yes. Don't be offended. This is a comedy show.
That's what made me laugh about last night. I'm like, 17 minutes after I said that, somebody's offended. Yeah.
Well,
I do that every show. I tell them, don't be offended. Like, none of this means anything.
I'm going to read you one more thing here.
Okay.
This is something I just...
Mr. Bagg, you're a fucking ass.
No. This is Yelp from last night. No, I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be
Remember
great?
what I said?
Yeah.
I said, see you on Yelp.
No, this is a quote here from a comedian. I'm not going to say who it is right away. It says, even with the number one show on television right now, I have a fear I'll say something that will get me in trouble. I have friends who are losing sponsorships. Jobs are being taken away. You're a comedian. There used to be a safety net as far as saying, just joking. There's no such thing as just joking anymore. Howie Mandel said that.
I think he's a pussy. I really do.
Really?
I think he's so rich. And it just proves how
he doesn't have to push anymore.
Proves how, he's sucking the man's cock.
Yeah,
that's kind of sad.
It is.
That's really sad. I used to like him a lot. Before I started doing comedy, I used to watch his specials, and he used to do crowd work too.
Did he?
Yeah. And you know what? No, I don't believe that. I think we get caught in a thing where we do suck the man's dick, and the right thing should be sponsoring your show. If you do jokes and you do push it to the limit, maybe mayonnaise shouldn't be sponsoring your show. You know, that's all there is to it. I would, and I'm in talks right now for a show, and I understand, but I don't know, man. I think we.
You know what just hit me is that he's also a part of a show that fired their host for saying things that Nick Cannon.
Well,
he put out a comedy special that had some controversial stuff. They fired him.
He's the worst comic ever, Nick Cannon.
He's
the
barely
horrible
a
comic.
Barely a comic.
I don't know when he became hard. Like suddenly you see him, I'm like, no, man, that I understand. He went from something to another thing, and that's why they're like, you can't be that. Like, you can't change. If you're who you are the whole time, they can't say, well, we didn't know we hired that guy.
Yeah,
you did. Yeah, you did. Like, if somebody hires me, and they go, we didn't know he's like that. Well, my first special on Showtime was called Ian Bagg Getting to Fucking Know You.
Yes.
So you know what you're hiring. So I don't believe that. I don't. But you know what? It's such a weird game because all I've heard is I've never seen America's Got Talent this year, but people just complain about Tyra Banks as the host.
Oh, okay.
They say she's absolutely horrible. It's so. America's got this problem. American TV's got this problem where it's just schlock. If you watch the same show from England or from Australia, it's completely different and a little bit harder.
Okay.
And the fact that Simon Cowell got away with what he did for such a long time, and he's not even, and he doesn't say, I'm just joking. He's just a mean prick.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
Like that's what blows my mind away. You can't do something funny, Howie, but he can say that people are shit.
Yeah. You're awful.
Yeah. Like, which would you rather have in your life? I don't know. That's an interesting comment, but I'm a little disappointed in Howie for that.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up here with telling people a song and a one and a two, and people need.
When does this come out?
Today, hopefully. I think it should.
Okay.
People can listen to this
tonight.
And come to shows.
And I'm here, and you guys get big download, right?
Zillions.
Zillions. That's enough. Slow it down. I think we're doing really well for this weekend for tickets, so get your tickets soon.
Yeah.
This is, you just look at the table, the way the tables are set up in here. It's just such a great club to play. That's what I like about it. Some things go sideways anywhere. It reminds me a lot of, I'm sure they get a response, like the tables are set up like this in Denver.
Okay.
At the Comedy Works. The only thing Denver does that is different than here, you have to, when you come in, if you have a phone, you have to put your phone in a bag.
Oh, and those case things.
Yeah, that locks. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I honestly don't care if somebody uses the phone in my show. If they picked it up and talked on it, it's completely different.
Right.
The people around them may feel different about it, which I'm fine with.
I don't want anyone taking their phone out because it does distract me as an audience member.
It does. Okay. So see, that's a different thing. So if they tell you to put your phone away, that you should definitely put your phone away. But if I bring something up, it's not that I'm mad at you. It's that I'm engaging you.
Yeah.
Is what I'm doing. So,
I was going to say that after the shows, you go come outside there and you got a really fun T-shirt for sale.
Yeah, my T-shirt's awesome. If you're a hockey fan,
yeah,
if you're a hockey fan, it's good. If you're a dog fan, it's great. If you're just an Ian Bagg fan, it's great. It's my dog Minnie Pearl. She's holding on to a stick with it behind her neck, and she's got the hockey gloves on, and she's telling you to drop the puck.
It's great stuff.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
She's a great dog.
Ian, thank you. This has been good, and hopefully we'll do it again in a year or two.
I like it.
Sweet. Bye.